Hello, everybody, and welcome back to today's episode of a roleplay for Verona. We're doing some interstellar vignettes, getting to know the characters a little bit. Wheat, you wanted to have a scene between Yasna and Autumn?
Yeah.
You want to do
Yeah,
that?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Where would you like it to take place? And is it like you walking in and talking to her? Or are you both already there when we fade in?
No,
Go ahead and
I would
set it
imagine
for
that
me.
this. Yeah, I would imagine this would be me. Like Yasna kind of like going to Autumn's room.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I mean, I would intend it to be a private conversation, I guess is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
What? Wait. I see Van over here. Like, what do you? There's no double
That is
finger
just
guns
exciting
in
'cause
this
I think
scene. Yeah.
Man is just a shit disturber today. So okay, so Autumn, this is like later, right? This is sort of somewhere between Yakia and Navet in drive space. You've been on the ship a couple of days probably. What are you up to when Yasna comes to see you? What are you doing?
I think that this will tie in to something that probably I was going to ask to do after Marcus did his thing, so it can kind of tie in, where she is probably using the whatever computers they have. Maybe she has like a tablet or like a device or something, and she's trying to find reports on like anything else that happened on Yaki, or like find any clues that may lead her to Landra, her sister, like anything that could explain why they couldn't meet up and things like that. So
interesting. Okay, so for folks who are maybe not used to or don't know like the communication in this universe, it is we have. It's not really faster than light travel, but we have basically like hyperdrive, which is the way that we get around right through non-spatial travel. But there is no way to beam a message through this space on its own, right? You can't like basically make a phone call from system to system. It just doesn't work. So live communication is limited to in system. So if you're on one planet and you're beaming a communication to another planet within that system, you're fine. But the communication outside of that is basically Age of Sail level of slowness. So by imperial law, every ship leaving or entering a system has to allocate a certain amount of its onboard database to carrying mail, basically. So whenever any ship leaves the system, it picks up a bunch of news information, jumps to another system. It drops off that news information with another server there. It's all encrypted. You can't like dig through it or anything, but every ship picks it up. And so you have whatever the most recent news that the Yakia system had brought there from, and Yakia is pretty up to date right now because there's a lot of Eridanis ships coming and going. So you're able to like flip through all the public stuff there, even though now this news is at least 2 days plus travel time old. Okay.
I think that's what she's doing. We can maybe make a roll afterwards, but like she's probably flicking through that trying to find reports of
let's do that now. So what are you looking for? Like just unusual news or like information?
Signed information or like any incidents or information that could possibly provide a lead onto what happened with her system. So, like what happened to her sister in the system. So like maybe it was like there was reports of like, a gunfight, there was like reports of like other Crux patrols or somebody stole a ship or something like that, or like anything that could lead to a more substantial contact or lead down the line. So like the name of somebody that was involved in it, or like the company of the ship that was stolen or something like that. But yeah, nothing like super hacky, like mainly going through the public records of stuff. So it's more like scanning information rather than like trying to hack or anything.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this would be if this were like an older, like an old timey detective thing. This is the searching the microfiche for clues sequence. So yeah, you're digging through the newsfeed,
newspaper headlines.
Yeah, right. Let's make a roll. Let's see what skill, because it's like research, right? So
knowledge.
Let me see. Yeah, like knowledge is knowing things already. But I think also you could
be.
apply it to like I think you can apply it's like a general kind of knowledge skill. Like how good
Like
are you at
researching.
learning things?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
There's no like research skill, and you're not like hacking a computer, so it's not computers. Okay, yeah, just make like a flat knowledge check with 2. Actually, you know what? You're looking for specific information. Yeah, look for 2 to put 2 purples in there and make a make a knowledge check.
I am also going to selfishly spend a story point.
Yeah, do it.
I'm going to do it.
Not selfish. It's what we want.
Spend it.
They're there to
so
be
Adam
spent.
can spend it later. Cool.
Yeah,
So I've got
good
1
idea.
upgrade from the story point, and then I've got my dice, and then 2 purples in the pool. Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
I mean, I'll take it.
All right. So, like everything else in the history of time, it stresses you out a little bit. But since there's all this time, I'm not gonna give you strain because you're constantly relaxing and there's a lot of time in between scenes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say just the next time you're distracted. So put a black die in the next pool that you have to roll. So just put it in your pool right now.
Yeah, that's what I've done.
But I think for me, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think just the act of like looking is kind of like stressful and distracting because you're thinking about like. She should be on the ship with you right now, but she isn't. So
she isn't. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so you're digging through, and I think probably a big there's the majority of news right now, and it has been for the last several months, is this resurgence in both imperial propaganda channels. Right, there was a lot of news about. The Emperor, right? Solanum Verona, House Pixis. There's a whole bunch of like profiles on exciting members of House Pixis you might not know about. House Pixis, rising star of the empire, whatever, right? Like all this stuff because they just got elected like 2 months ago. And then below that, there's a ton more like religious news. A lot of talk about like the church, interviews with high members of the church, and you have to dig through all of that stuff before you can find any of the regular news. And I think maybe in some kind of like shipping like comms server, right, where pilots and captains kind of share information, there has been, it looks like there's been an increase while all this other stuff is going on. There's been an increase in like piracy, in like ships getting hit, especially in the part of the sector that you are currently kind of traveling through.
Good.
Yeah. So maybe that's a piece of news that you follow. And it's interesting because there's a lot of like talk about the Confederacy of the Upright Vagrant and kind of their like that pirate fleet joining the Empire as a protective force, like being knighted basically. But all the scuttlebutt below that is like, yeah, there's still pirates though. It's not like this stopped. And in fact, in these sections, like there's a lot of news of like, don't go here. There's lots of kidnappings. These Pixis nobles have been targeted. There's a bunch of Pixis that have been kidnapped recently. It's just like bad down there. So if you're doing passenger travel, just stay away from the sort of southeast corner of the sector map. And so maybe that concerns you somewhat. And it is reading that disturbing news or that confusing news when Yasna arrives.
Okay, cool.
I guess I knock. I knock.
There's a moment of like as you kind of see Yasna knocking, there's a look on Autumn's face of like, please don't be the captain. Please don't be the captain. And then she kind of gets up, like takes a breath, and then looks at the door, sees it's Yasna, and just opens it. Just doesn't even like call out, just opens it. And it's like, hey, Yasna, how can I help?
Step in. The door shuts, right? After I step
awkwardly.
So the door sucks, basically. It opens partway and gets stuck. Sometimes it goes really slow. Like Autumn's door is busted. So for effect, you can describe the door as being broken in whatever way you need. But that's
all right. Well, then I
know about it.
I like shuffle through. But
sorry.
For it to be a private conversation, like I then like whatever I have to do, like fuck with it to
hit it a couple of times and then it slides
just hit it there, hit it just below the bulkhead that normally shuts it.
Um, Autumn, I wonder if I might ask you for a favor and perhaps a talk.
Of course, yes. Yeah, sure. How can I help?
Um, so let's see. Um, your sister, you
Hmm.
ever braid her hair before?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. She has long hair like me, I guess. So yeah, absolutely, we've done that.
So, like, harking back to episode 1 with those cool little fucking pole things that, Yasna uses she, like, pulls it out, and her hair goes, all the
Yeah.
way down, and
Wow.
um, she just says, "I z the ship and just my hair, it's too much. I need something. It's less restrictive while I'm on this ship. If you braid it and we can chat."
Of course, absolutely. Yeah, sure, no problem. Come, just sit down, and like she'll probably like clear the bed and like have Yasna sit down, and then kind of like scoot up on the bed behind her.
Hmm.
And I put like my hair sticks away. Um,
Stick.
something something maybe from the nobles. I've never, the triple loop and the rabbit through the
Yeah,
hole and that style you.
I will certainly try my best. We didn't necessarily do anything that extreme, but I've seen it done, so I'll give it a go. And I'll start trying to do whatever I
Hmm.
can remember from the preppy Crux
Oh
girls
my
or
god. So
the
what I
Aquila.
was gonna say, so what is
Yeah,
this? Does this trigger like an actual memory? Like, because I
yeah.
mean
Oh, 100%.
yeah, you and your sister,
Not
like,
just
so what event, like, give me a flash it back. Give me a flashback. It's you, because we haven't seen your sister.
mm.
Like, throw it back to like a
So
party on Tiber or something.
yeah, I think that there's like a mix because obviously Autumn was in the academy for a long time, so didn't see her sister for a long time until they were kind of like young
Yeah.
teenagers, and then that's when they kind of were reunited, and then they grew up together like for about
Yeah.
12 years. So I think that yeah, there's probably like a fundraiser because the sister was very ambitious. So
That's right.
you see an Eridanus woman who is slightly older than Autumn, maybe by a couple of years, maybe 2-3 years, but there's just a wealth of maturity there that's not present in Autumn, where Autumn is very,
Mm.
she looks quite young and naive, and she has these big eyes and this kind of bewildered, caught in headlights look about her all the time. The sister, Landra, is very composed, probably wearing like an elegant nightgown, whereas Autumn's in like a lab coat and some, like a basic underlayer where she's just come back from some working on something or like her, her medical
Yeah,
exams or something.
exactly. It's sci-fi, so I think that unless that people are dressed up or dressed to fight, they're wearing some kind of like weird one-piece bodysuit thing. Like everybody
Mhm.
just wears like hexagon print jumpsuits. It's just how it goes.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that it's the sister Landra is talking about her big plans to liaise with a bunch of different Eridanus noble houses and corporations and secure funding for like a brand new infrastructure project. So like she's probably
Mm.
talking about like making a park or making a new rec center for the serfs. And it's all very
Yeah, yeah,
nice and she's
yeah.
talking about it. And Autumn is not really listening. She's just kind of mindlessly doing the hair and thinking about a million other
Mm.
things. But it's very close. It's very intimate in a kind of sisterly way. And they've probably got like little data pads with like the latest in, House Valen fashions or something like that. And
Mm.
the sisters
Hmm.
pointing at them and saying, like, yeah, like this one, like this one. And they're just kind of chatting about
Yeah.
nothing.
And so it would be as we crossfade back to the room.
Mm,
It's such a stark contrast because the room that you were in, even though Autumn and her sister would consider it to be not that big or not that like flashy, it's like the fucking Golden Palace of Versailles compared to the cramped metal shoebox that you're currently in, right? Like
mhm.
black marble pillars and like literally like a leaf gold ceiling, and like you live in a massively fancy bank vault because you're you're an Eridanus, right? So you have to keep up appearances. Yeah,
Mhm.
big money. And then we crossfade back to you and Yasna and like that low
Yeah.
omnipresent hum of the ship and
So then if I'm, sitting in or on the bed and Autumn's doing my hair, I'm kind of like facing the door and
Mhm.
nothing's said, but this is an easier conversation now that like Yasna's kind of right, like not necessarily having to have this sort of discussion eye to eye.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's probably partially because Yasna maintains sort of the like I need to be a tough figure to get us through this, but there's
Yeah.
obviously some vulnerability there. And so I just say, Autumn, I want to talk about your sister.
Yes, of course. I imagine after what I said the other day that that's to be expected.
I I want you to know I am not mad or angry about this secret that you keep. I I have been thinking a lot about it, and I think maybe you and I have more in common than even I first realized.
Okay. I mean,
I
I'll let you tell me that in your own time, but that's comforting to know, I guess.
I I just want to say I understand this complex relationship you have with your sister and
Hmm.
my own background. It is not a pleasant one, full of frankly death and violence and things that I wish upon no one. But even in the dark times, I too had a comrade in which was not like me, who helped me through these difficult times.
She just
And
waits. Like Autumn just lets Yasna speak. She doesn't
Now,
jump in at any point.
well, and I have a
sure,
question here. So Yasna, while you're talking, I'll kind of leave this up to you, or maybe we can roll or whatever. But Autumn is literally supernaturally aware of the physical state of everyone around her all the time. Like, it's not even about like hearing your heartbeat or noticing something physically, psychically. Like she can tell if something is happening to you. So like if you think that while you're talking, your like heart rate would increase or your vibe is different, if you think that might be something Autumn would pick up, then cool. Otherwise, like, you can just keep it on the DL. But I'm curious if Autumn would have picked up anything with that extra sense.
I mean, from my perspective, I think that um, if there was something to notice, it would be like the air of like I fucking mean business all the time, and
Mm.
that's not there. That this isn't a like,
Ah.
okay, we're gonna fucking drive through the fire, or we got to go do this, or we need to,
So it's like
or
an
happening his
absence.
mom to, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's an absence of the combat readiness, right? It's that you've like there's a sense of like Autumn that maybe you sense that Yasna is like relaxed in your
Relax.
presence and not like ready to
Yeah.
kill.
Yeah, and I think that like as she probably again because Yasna can't see Autumn's face, when she gets
Mm,
that sense of relaxation, there is a genuine kind of smile of like a moment of like I can relax too. Like this person's
mhm.
not gonna try and kill me. Like there is a genuine like okay, we're just having a nice conversation and I
Then
can
Haley busts
relax as
in and
well.
shoots both of you.
That's when I use our other 4 story points that I lifted that gun from Haley, and now it's all over. I'm the bad guy. No.
I will end you.
A, only episode 7. B, you're not Jesse Cox. Continue.
Um, great. So, I say, I I hope that you will not judge me, but I have seen the death of thousands of Zints, and even from my own hands. The reason why I think we have more in common than I first realized is that this comrade I mentioned, he was human, and when I rebelled against the Death Squad, they killed him for his relationship with me.
I'm so
So
sorry, Yasna.
it is in the past, and I am repenting for these things even now by helping as any synth that I possibly can. But I just
Mm.
want you to know I will do whatever it takes to get your sister back.
There's a moment where like the hair braiding kind of stops for a moment, and I think uh Autumn just places a hand on Yasna's shoulder and is like, Thank you. Um, I understand that eh, for some of the others, for anyone, it might not be easy, especially working with a noble, but I appreciate that a lot. It really does mean a
So
lot to me. And if there's anything I can do for you, anything to repay you, I will. I always
So
will.
the important question here is when Autumn stops braiding your hair, Yasna,
Mm.
and puts her hand on your shoulder, do you turn around and like face her when she says that?
I don't think so because like I think there's actually right. I mentioned that this was going to be an easier
Mhm.
conversation because I was going to
Yeah,
talk
yeah, yeah.
about
Then
some
that
things
was
that
the
I've done
question,
in my
right? Yeah,
past.
okay.
So no,
Yeah.
like this is still like I just kind of
There's still some
um
distance. Yeah, okay.
this if
Yeah.
there's something that like Yasna is ashamed of, right? It is what happened in her past, but
Mm.
Yeah.
that had such a huge effect on, you know, her and what she's doing now that like it was important that he or that she made this known to Autumn. So no.
Yeah. Okay. I think that Autumn just says, I, I I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the next steps are. Landra was supposed to be on the ship. She's not here. I'm not a soldier. I'm a doctor, Yasna. I have a few abilities, but I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know what the next steps are. I've tried going through a few things, but all I can find about is maybe there was some piracy in this area, and I've tried to go through the comms, and I've tried to go through everything, but I just don't know what to do, and I need someone, anyone, just to help me figure this out. So the fact that you're saying this is it means a lot. I
You
know
do
it's a
not
silly
need to
question.
worry about the next step. Uh if it makes you any comfortable, then you should know none of us know what we are doing. We are on the run. Half of the universe is trying to kill us or a kind. Uh, we can only just take the next step. And after that, the next step. But it is fine. We'll find your sister. We will deliver as many synths as possible to safety. And maybe one
Yes,
day we will get an opportunity to just rest and no
that
longer
sounds
run.
nice. That sounds really nice. I'd really like that for Landra and for you and for as many other senses we can find because it's so wrong. It's not right. Um, this is a silly question, but do you want me to, if you want any other changes to the hair, I can make it change color. I can change the length. I can anything you want. I'm happy to do that if you'd like.
That is true. I had forgotten about that. That you can literally like tell her body to do different hair stuff and it'll like, yeah, that's so
Yeah.
weird.
Uh,
In case you forgot, I'm also like a cool sorceress. So
so
Autumn of
um,
Vengerberg.
I think actually there's kind of like this. Maybe that's the first time that you recognize some tenseness,
Mm,
and I'm just
Mm.
like, no, no, no. It is. Thank you, but it is not necessary.
of course. And yeah, sure. Yeah, it's beautiful. She's just like you kind of feel like this like genuine, like it's beautiful. I wouldn't want to touch it anyway. It was more if you wanted anything, but
Yeah, and I think
it's
like
amazing.
I think you're done, right? So like you finished it and
Yeah.
you're kind of reflecting on
Yeah.
your work, right? And yeah, you
Yeah.
So Yasna,
Synth hair.
like this is
Perfect.
like fancy Yasna, right? Because like we've seen like bloodstained warrior Yasna, but now you have this like fancy updo that arms, and so I think like I don't know where do you look at yourself? Is there like a mirror in the room or?
Yeah, you tell me. You built the ship in your brain, Adam. Is there a fucking mirror in the room or
I
not?
imagine
And
that
I'm like, what
if
am I?
I mean, it's
if they were
Autumn's room,
preparing
so.
it for a noble, I think if they were preparing the room for a noble, there'd be like maybe a
Yeah.
crappy like small mirror that's been stuck to the wall or something. Like, but it's kind of tiny. Like you have to kind of really squint into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what does that mean? You're holding it, Autumn?
I think like yeah, she's currently kind of got it all pinned, but there's almost this
Well,
moment
this
where
is-
like when she was braiding it, it's like just admiring it, kind of looking at it, and you know having
And
played
it's
with it.
so
And
like
stuff like that.
I'm trying to play it neutral and not be like the universe wants you to fall in love, like the gravity fails and you bump into each other. But like there is a moment of like it's interesting
They
because
can
like
also
Yasna
just be
is trying.
friends.
Yeah, they can exactly. So yeah, Yasna, I'm letting it do its thing. But Yasna came in to actively like have this conversation, but wasn't brave enough to have like the conversation face to face. But we have this moment where the two of you are both facing in the same direction. Yasna is looking at herself in a mirror, and so behind her can make eye contact with you because you're standing behind her looking at her so the shot is from behind both of you, and then there's the mirror reflecting back at you. Yeah, that's cool. It's a good frame because now you're not like looking at her while you talk, Yasna, but you can see each other's face.
All right. Then what happens is Yasna's looking in the mirror and she says, it's beautiful, thank you. And as she like says it, she kind of makes that eye contact and then almost sort of like darts away, like still sort of in that
kind of I don't want to I didn't want to have this. Yeah. I think that Autumn just kind of smiles and kind of like looks away as well, but kind of maybe like busies with like straightening the bed or something where like, you know, sheets got moved or something like that. And then I think she'll just say, thank you for telling me about this, about yourself. If you ever want to talk about it, I'd like to know a little bit more about everything, really. I feel like I need to know a bit more about the world, but if nothing else, I'd like to know the name of your the person who helped you, the person that you're thinking of about all this stuff. Maybe one day you can tell me about them.
And I think I say, I would like that, but this stays between us, please.
Of course.
Secrets.
Great. And then maybe there's like almost an immediately like, well, I must go check on the rest of the crew, and we
Yeah,
must
right. The
talk
wall
to
comes
captain
back up. Like I gotta go. Yeah.
about this person we are picking up in the vets, and I'm just sort of muttering as I walk out. And
yeah, and I think like Autumn
cool.
kind of goes into doctor mode as well, and kind of like takes that kind of like right, yeah, and then like he takes her to the door to like see her out, and is like, well, thank you very much. I hope.
So
that
does
hair
Autumn
stays
actually?
together.
I keep forgetting that Autumn like was actually a doctor. So is that the effect where you're just like basically like the end of an appointment,
consultation?
Like, well,
yeah,
okay,
she kind of slips into that
interesting.
mood.
Yeah,
and like kind of takes it to the door and like is like, well, thank you. You know, I'm glad that you came to talk, and I hope you like the hair. And if the captain's a bit cagey about who we're picking up, let me know. I've never tried to see that far ahead before, but I could try and see what might happen. But it's risky. I'd rather not do that if we can just get him to tell us. So
I love the idea that with precogs, like there's probably like a thing in the academy where you like dare each other to like how far ahead can you see until eventually somebody like gets a really bad nosebleed and passes out.
Yeah. Or like there's always there's the rumor in the academy of like, oh, there was this one Crux kid who like tried to look in 10 years in the future and he
Yeah.
died. And like there's these like ghost stories and
Right.
like horror stories that kind of spring up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, terrifying.
We used to
Cool.
hold our breath until we passed out in middle school, so this tracks.
Yeah, right. No, but it's the exact same thing, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, there would be things where they're like trying to lift the heaviest thing with your brain and like, yeah, all that kind of like stuff, but you just are using psychic powers instead. Yeah, totally. Okay, cool. All right. So Yasna leaves. If Johnny or Haley, you have a scene that you want to do, cool, we can do that. Or we can jump to picking up the passenger at Nivette. We can do that too. What do you think? Gonna do that? Sure.
Yeah, I don't think Johnny
they-
has anything else to say at this because he's still trying to take care of Christine because now Christine's awake. So
But
I
what
have a
Yeah,
about
and
question.
again, this can be later, right? We have a lot of time to sort of like be like, yeah, and then 2 days later, or like this is not connected to the last scene. So, she wakes up and goes to sleep. Christine's basically, if she's awake, she's attached to Johnny, and then otherwise she's asleep, and she wakes up if you go too far away from her. She's like one of those like dolls that they teach kids to have babies with, or just like randomly wakes up, starts crying in the middle of the night. Yeah.
I had a question which might relate to me wanting to go and speak to Johnny. Because Johnny took quite a lot of damage when we were escaping Yakia.
Mm-hmm.
But he's mechanical,
Don't worry,
so
nobody knows
he
how to
wouldn't
pronounce that
naturally heal.
Correct.
So like, is Johnny still damaged? Like, is Johnny still like got like laser blasts?
Johnny, do you want to talk about? Let's talk about how you get fixed, because everybody else, their bodies are like fundamentally self-repairing to a certain point. They can't like regrow their bones or anything, but like they're based on human self-repair. But let's take a look at how you work, because you heal different than everybody else. Let's see.
Because the reason I kind of was
need
thinking.
a mechanic.
Yeah, well, I was kind of thinking that if nobody looks like they're like taking care of Johnny, or if Johnny doesn't look like he's taking care of himself, I think Autumn's doctor kind of vibe would be like, well, he's not human. He's not, I can't, heal him the way I would, but she still cares about his well-being and his health and would want to maybe because she's quite intellectual, like maybe try and figure out like, okay, I'm not a mechanic, but I could maybe learn a few things and I can try and patch him up as best as I can. If nobody else is doing it,
we could work together on that because Haley does have a rank in mechanics.
There you go.
Nice.
So maybe like
Yeah.
Haley's helping teach, about more of the mechanical stuff, and then Autumn's got
She
the
has little hands.
yeah. And then it's like the
So
surgery
Johnny,
kind of stuff can help with like, oh, you need this plate
so the
here
way-
to
the
replicate
way
the
it
bone
works-
and stuff like that.
The way it works for you, Johnny, is that your body can recover given time, but it's slower. And I think for you, like, it's not a given necessarily. It's definitely better for you to have someone like come in and fix you. But they use the mechanic skill instead of the medicine skill. But I don't know yet. Does it occur to you like you've been damaged, not critically damaged, right? Nobody has any critical wounds, right?
No, nobody took any crit wounds.
True.
No.
So
let's see,
eventually,
where am I?
your limited
I'm at
self-repairing
8 out of
systems will.
15 wounds.
Yeah,
So
you're pretty,
you've
you're pretty
taken
messed
a
up.
bit of-
Yeah.
Yeah, half, right? So
Yeah.
he's maybe like smoking a little bit in some parts. I don't know.
He's got like a hole in like the side of his torso.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
But
Yeah, well, and that
yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say, and that I think like if Autumn notices in that, and like after a couple of days, he's still nobody's bothered to like fix him, or if Johnny hasn't like asked for anyone to do it, then she might go and like get Haley and be like I want to try and help Johnny, and like can you come and help me?
Sure, yeah.
So we go and find Johnny somewhere.
Absolutely.
All right. So Johnny, where are you and Christine when Autumn comes to find you? Basically, your options are the room where all your bunks are, the big cargo hold. There used to be like I guess there's like an auto, like a kitchen kind of thing where all the like food pumps are, but you don't really hang out in there. You just go in and get food out of the dispenser, though you don't really need to. So there's that room as well. or you could randomly be in any part of the ship aside from the cockpit, because then the captain would be like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
I'm helping.
Helping.
Beep,
So I
beep,
think
beep,
Johnny
beep.
hasn't really moved from where he was talking with Adil, so like the bunk bed area. Uh, you know, he's probably serenading Christine or something, and hitting it.
Okay.
So he's sitting there, and you know, at this point, he's probably wishing for an interruption. Let's be honest. So
Yeah,
um,
right.
yeah, because
So
he is still programmed to take care of Christine, even though like he desperately wants to get away from her. So
Mhm.
he's probably just strumming, playing some bullshit on the guitar, and you know, hoping that you know maybe eventually she'll go back to sleep so he can like regain his independence.
you go speak to other people. I think
Mhm.
like maybe like Orm goes and gets Haley, and then like we kind of stick our head like round the corner, so like you've kind of got like Haley's head on the bottom and then Autumn at the top. And I'll just be like, Johnny, do you have a second?
Oh, hi guys. I sure do.
Christine looks at
Uh,
you like you're interrupting the greatest moment of her life, and she hates you to
Yeah.
death for it. Like she gives you a look like, "Get the fuck out of here. We're having a moment."
I'll come in. I will step into the room. Well, I'll step into the room carrying like a few mechanical tools, and then I'll be like, Johnny, can I? This is a weird question, but you took some damage when we were getting off planet, right? And I'll point to like where I can see like a hole, maybe in his like jacket or something like that. Like, did you get shot?
Oh. Yeah.
Johnny. All right.
So cool.
You can't just leave that, okay? You have to get that fixed. I'm not really a mechanic,
So
but
when you
Haley knows a little.
when you say that, Christine nods as if she's like, "Yeah, I'm a part of this conversation," and she says, "That's what I was trying to tell him. He needs to take better care of himself. We need him around." And she like puts her hand on your leg possessively.
Hey, Christine.
I'm gonna let
She looks
Haley
over at
take
you.
this.
Uh-huh.
If
Yeah,
you
she
could
looks
just
over at you. Haley.
You're at an 11. If you could just dial it back to like a 3 or a 2, I think we'd all really appreciate it.
I don't know how she would react to that. I'm gonna make you roll. I think you're being coercive, not
I'm gonna
charming.
knock her out. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
probably
roll-
not charming.
Yeah,
I have,
roll coercion.
Okay.
Roll coercion.
No
Two,
chance this is
two.
a leadership roll.
No, 2 purple dice in the pool.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes.
Get
Christine's
rid of
gonna
this
get herself shot.
upgrade. How many story points do we have right now?
You get 3.
I do want her to like shut up. Can I use a story point too?
I'm
Please.
not gonna stop you. Okay, so give yourself an upgrade.
Coercion. All right, I think that's everything.
You fail.
Oh no.
You fail to. You get 2 failures and a threat. I'm gonna hang on to that black die. You shouldn't, but hold on. You have 2 reds in your pool. You need to re-roll that. That is way more difficult
Oh,
than
I'm
it was
so
supposed to
sorry.
be.
Okay, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
roll that
All
again.
right,
I was looking at it, I'm like,
re-roll.
you
Sorry.
shouldn't have failed this so colossally. Try that again.
I think the reds were still in there from when I was stealing a gun from a man.
I think so. This is less difficult. Try that again.
Okay.
That's
There we
better. You
go.
still
I
failed.
mean, still failed, but I have an advantage.
But on this side, you have an advantage. So hang on to a blue die for next time. She gives you a look like, "Who are you?" Like, "I'm sorry, I don't know you." And she says, still hand on leg. She looks at you, Haley, and she says, "I'm just concerned is all. We were all in a lot of danger back there. And Johnny's the only reason any of us are still alive. So I think it's not about me being too worried and more about you being not worried enough."
We're literally here to heal Johnny. So I don't know who you think you're preaching to, but it sure as fuck isn't us.
Can we please just take a moment? We're here to make sure Johnny's okay. We need to get him laying down so that we can, check him all over. This isn't going to help.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Well,
Yeah,
like I said,
everybody,
make sure
this
in the
and
future you get this checked, okay?
this is
All right.
normal for you, Johnny. Everyone in the room is talking about you like you're a machine. Like you're like, we're here to fix the car, and nobody's like, car, how do you feel? They're ignoring you basically, and arguing about like who wants to fix you more. And then you're like, yeah, hi, hello. And so Christine turns to you and he says that when you say that, Johnny, and she says, are you sure you're okay with this? I mean, I don't think either of them are actually mechanics.
Well, that doesn't really matter. I mean, they're here to fix me, so, I guess I need fixing.
Well, I figured that Haley knows a little bit more about mechanical stuff, and obviously I'm a trained doctor, so I figured that maybe that the two of us combined, I think that we can help. So, and we want to make sure that you're okay, that you're well, right? You've not had any. Now, tell me, have you had any problems with any motor functions? Have you had any problems with any kind of moving around, showing signs of any tiredness or lethargy or anything like that?
Not to my knowledge. I mean,
Well, that's good.
I can still do this. And he like lifts the guitar and then he like spins it around.
Okay, well that's good.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Well, and
It's
that's
just
the thing is you're full of these like fucking Benihana type tricks, right? Like you got a library of impressive.
Performance tricks. Yeah.
Yeah, if there is ever
good.
a situation in which you need to throw ice cubes from one glass to another over your head behind your back without looking, no problem.
It's like the scene in Back to the Future. Lou, give me a milk.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
Or the entire film Cocktail starring Tom Cruise.
It is, yes, exactly. Yeah, that entire movie. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
every mixologist YouTube channel ever made.
Yes.
Johnny, he stands up. He brushes himself off, and then he just as quickly lays down on the floor and just planks, just like looking at the ceiling.
You can lay on a
Oh,
bunk if you want,
do
Johnny.
so Johnny, do you go into like diagnostic mode and like
Exactly.
Oh,
So
man.
like when
Okay.
you run the fucking BIOS like on your computer, you're just like boop.
whoa.
See,
So
this
does
is the hard
this
thing,
would
is
be
like-
this would be
is why
so
Johnny gets
alienating and
free.
weird for everyone in the room
Yeah.
because I imagine like BIOS mode or whatever, like your fucking chest cavity opens up and like probably your faceplate like moves forward. Like this is the thing that makes you seem the most like weird robot of anything we've ever seen because you want to give people access to your internal stuff. So all of your like plates and shit move out of the way. Oh, terrifying.
It'll look a little foreign. And he's no longer going to, and any semblance of humanity that Johnny had is just gone in an instant because he just turns into work on this mode. So everything that he had before, like the guitar was put down, he just lays on the floor and essentially just awaits your input.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess me and Haley will then basically start examining it, and I'm going to try and learn as much as I can, which is code for I'm going
Nice.
to spend XP after this to learn some mechanics.
Nice. It's so
yeah, I'm
great
gonna
because
try and learn
Haley
as
is kind
much
of
as I can.
teaching. Haley's kind of teaching you,
Yeah.
right? Like
That's what I figured.
you need an
Like
excuse
Haley's
to
showing
spend
me
those.
exactly.
I have like the mechanic skills of like someone who took half a semester of shop class.
That's what I'm going to be at. Yeah, don't worry about it. We're going to be fine together. We can do
But
it.
you still have a rank. You have a rank in it, which means like
do.
you are trained. You have practice. So in this case, then it sounds like Autumn is making the roll
And then
and
Haley's
getting
assisting.
An
yeah,
assist.
yeah,
Yeah.
Haley's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you're going to use what is mechanics normally based on?
Mechanics, intelligence.
Intelligence. Okay. So or intellect.
So
I
I've
think
got
it's called
3
in this game. Yeah,
intelligence.
okay.
Yeah, I got intellect.
So it's going to
I've got 3
be
intellect.
so Autumn, you're going to roll it, but give yourself 1 upgrade from Haley kind of pointing
Yes.
stuff out and having like, so you're like, that doesn't seem right. And Haley's like, that's an alternator, dummy. Like, this is how that works.
Like,
yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, all right.
Well, because it's
now-
Autumn's natural sense of how like a body should operate and
Yeah.
and then Haley's understanding of how machines actually work, and the two of you
Yes.
kind of working together to put
Working
that knowledge together. Okay.
Now I have a question,
Let me
Adam.
see how it works. Yeah.
Well, the other question I have is I have a talent called surgeon. which normally means
Yeah.
that when I make a medicine check, the target heals 1 additional wound per rank of surgeon. I've got 2. Now, I know Johnny is a robot and it's mechanical, but he's still made in a humanoid shape and he still has parts that function like humanoid parts, right? So, like, if I'm just repairing wounds rather than critical injuries, if I'm repairing wounds
I don't
rather than
know.
critical injuries, do you think that I could get that? This is me stretching it, chat. But
No,
Can I
like, I
roll
mean, I
it?
get it. I get what you're going for. Would a
Yeah, you get what I'm
surgeon have
going
an
for.
easier? How much is Johnny's body replicating
yeah.
human? Ugh, I don't know. What do you think, Elspeth? What do you think? Is your internal stuff similar enough? Because like you don't have a stomach. I mean, you would have a place to like store fluid and solids that you eat.
Yeah.
You don't need to breathe, so you don't have lungs.
Right.
Like your guts are definitely different.
Yes. So I would liken this to an older computer. So you know how like when you look inside a like a modern PC, you're going to see a lot of things that look prettier. They look like they're sleek. You know, they're designed to be aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
When you look at an older computer, everything looks clunky. Everything looks like this maybe doesn't go here. And
Yeah.
that's what Johnny looks like right now. It's very like, why are these his
What is this? A
lungs?
SCSI cable?
What is this? Like, why is it here? It's huge. It doesn't belong here. But somehow it functions that way. So
Mhm.
it's probably going to be a bit more difficult to navigate than if you even just looking up like a newer synth. Everything is going to look a lot more like pieced together, and this just looks jumbled as fuck.
Yeah, so maybe that's the thing then, Autumn. You go in expecting like analogies to be like, okay, you might have a mechanical heart to pump fluid around, but it's like a completely different system. Yeah, and you're just like,
all right,
this is the inside of it. It has more in common with like a car engine than it does with a human body. Yeah, which then
That's
further like deepens that. And this whole sequence. Johnny, you are continuing to be able to like speak and stuff, even though your face is now separated from your head and is like off to one side, and we saw the blinky weird.
That's fine.
Okay,
that's fine. I'm just gonna look for talents that restore more points to mechanical beings. Then I'll find a way to make it work.
So the way this roll works is
Gonna kill Johnny.
Johnny, you are currently at. How many wounds do you have? 8 out of 15?
Yes.
Okay, so one more than half of your threshold, right? Or like around there. Okay, so it's a two purple difficulty. Autumn, make a mechanics test, but give yourself one upgrade from Haley's.
It's the number of successes I get. Yeah, and it's the number of successes
every success you get heals a wound.
Okay. And I'm guessing Johnny doesn't heal naturally, so maybe the only way that we
Johnny will heal naturally, but it's different.
Cool. Oh wow, 4 wounds though.
Wow. You're a natural. How much of this Vana, how much of this is Haley being like, no, don't cut that nope, not that thing.
Yeah, is Johnny like sitting down or standing up?
Like laying down.
I assume planking on the floor.
He's laying
right?
down. Okay. Because I was like, if Haley can't see, is she just guessing what what she's looking at just based on description? Yeah, I think it's her sort of hovering like she's over Johnny's head and like looking in like this, and then Autumn's like off to the side messing with this, and then she's like, oh no, don't
okay.
Definitely don't touch that. Definitely Oh my gosh. Don't even get your oils on it. I forget how oily human hands are. Disgusting.
Meanwhile, Johnny's just like laying down there, and he's like, probably kind of dusty. Sorry.
Yeah, like maybe like I'm like it is pretty dusty. Do you want me to like give it a little air clean, or do you want me to just leave it?
Sure.
Okay, and like get like a little.
You have to be careful. You might just push the dust further into him. Come on.
All right. Well. Okay. Well, maybe if we open this bit up. Okay. All right. And then.
Oh my God. Are you not even wearing your static guard bracelet? What are you doing?
I was about to say, before you do anything, you have to touch a metal surface before you start digging around in Johnny's innards.
All right. Okay. I'm learning a lot. All right. Okay. This is new to me.
and you're using compressed air
Oh,
in
this
him,
is
you just hear him go, oh,
see.
He's
I
like
Sorry,
the
was
sorry.
the
Pillsbury
joke.
Doughboy.
The joke to make here, Johnny, if you had the reference material for it, and if it wasn't 1,000 years too late, you could be singing Daisy, and then it's just getting
Yeah.
slower and slower as you're singing.
and he wouldn't shut down. He's
Yeah,
technically conscious for the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, I mean, you don't feel anything. It
I
doesn't
think-
bother you, like having somebody dig around in your guts.
Right.
A bit of welding, tiny little bit of like micro welding, like some plates or something
Yeah.
back together.
Okay.
And I think like Autumn
Right, so
talks to Johnny throughout the whole process like a patient. Like I think Autumn actually would be like, does this hurt? Is this okay? Are you comfortable? She's always checking in with him and treats him like a medical patient. She, checks in with him, asks him if that try moving your arm. Is that better? Okay. And then she goes back in and adjusts it. And
Oh, and I like so we've had some like little flashbacks here and there for each one of these scenes. Johnny, when was the last time like a technician came and like took care of you? Like when was the last time somebody did this? And what was that person like?
There should be a little date inside him. So there's like,
Oh my god, you
how
have
in
like a last service date?
So you know how like library books where it was like this book was last borrowed
Yeah, or
by
like a fire extinguisher. A
Right.
fire extinguisher is what I was thinking of. Like,
yeah. So like
how
this
long
is,
has it been?
For Johnny, I mean, he hasn't worked in a couple of years, I don't think. He hasn't had a steady bartending job. So I guess a couple of years back from now, maybe like 2-3 years ago. And for Johnny, that's saying something. He has not been maintained.
Yeah.
As a bartender, he was maintained almost daily because they wanted to make sure he was just, doing his job and providing the right products for the customer. So it's quite a while for Johnny. And he's also
does Johnny
dating.
does Johnny have like synth flesh, like, or is it like silicone, or is it like like replicated skin or anything?
He doesn't really have
Like a plastic faceplate, right?
it's seriously like it's like plastic. It's not like skin at all because he's so old. He's such an old version.
Yeah.
He really doesn't have anything that looks remotely like skin. Like if you see it, it's almost like gray and pallor. And if you touch it,
Haley,
it feels like a ketchup bottle. Like it's got that same like kind of plasticky like fuck is this?
Haley and Johnny are on opposite sides of the uncanny valley, right? Where the people that made Johnny were like, well, we can't make it look too human, like not human enough to get onto the other side. So it's like clearly safely kind of fakey human, right? And then Haley and Yasna and all the other like current model synths are on the other side where it's like they're so human you can't tell. Yeah, exactly.
Does Johnny have like any like deep scars or like facial marks or anything like that on his plastic, like, or like any like gouges or anything?
He's on his face. He's got the barcode, which he cannot remove. He actually is programmed to not remove it. He doesn't have any like. I don't think it has any scars. Because he was made to be unscarable, unbreakable. Like you can't really.
It's like really tough.
Really tough.
And there's probably lots of times where people have tried, right? You've had so many beer bottles broken on your face, and like
he's had a lot of fist to the face, and they end up hurting their fist, right? So he's tough, but no, I don't think any like scars or anything like that.
Okay, so yeah, I think like Autumn just completes her, finishes up the treatment. Checks in with him one last time, and then it's like, okay, well, it's not perfect. There's still a few things. You should go easy. Maybe we can check in with a few days. Just keep working on it a little bit, but this is all I can do for now. So it should be a little better in there. So,
did you do anything to like change him, like alter him? No. Okay, so
she would have literally just repaired any damage. Probably cleaned out the dust and stuff like that, but she wouldn't have made any like major changes. Not without asking him. It's like she would have either asked him to do it or would have, just asked his permission.
Okay. Because in typical Johnny fashion, he wants so badly to be upgraded that he hopes that you did something
Okay.
Right.
Even like bother to ask. Like he would be hoping like, I hope I come out of this a brand new synth and that I'm just no longer Johnny. But
I hope
Okay.
there's some
also-
sort of placebo effect, regardless.
I don't know that. Norm doesn't know that. And so she's just like, I'm going to fix him up. I'll just fix him.
Right. Yeah, no, he can't say that. He can't say that because right, he's programmed to be like, I'm just gonna
Oh,
let
thanks very much. Yeah.
whatever's broken. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But secretly,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and this is the thing, Johnny. You are, and I took a quick look at the history, the timeline. You're outdated by a couple of 100 years. So, like, whether you have had your memory reset a bunch of times, which you probably have, you're almost definitely the oldest person on the ship by a long shot because House Cygnus introduced like human synths 200 years ago. So you're old as shit.
Well, then.
I guess he doesn't
Now-
know.
Would Autumn know that, having now seen inside and like kind of
Oh, yeah.
seen his inside part? So Autumn knows he's really old, right?
Yeah, I
and that
mean,
many
it's a given, right? Like you're working on the synth equivalent of like a 50s car, right?
Oh,
Where like,
sure.
you know, he's
So-
a complex machine,
That's a
but
really
he's
good point.
vintage,
That's a really
right?
good point. That's a good point
Yeah.
because if you're like, oh, when was the last time Johnny
Yeah.
was maintained? Johnny thinks, oh, just 2 years ago, a couple years ago. It's been a while. And if you like
Uh-huh.
look inside Autumn, the date is actually like fucking 100 years ago or some shit.
So
Yeah.
I think that
Almost certainly the
Oh,
mechanic that fixed you last, that performed maintenance on you last, is dead of old age by now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in that conversation, because Autumn would have probably asked him, when was the last time you had repairs and stuff, and so Johnny would have said like, oh, like a couple of years ago or something, right? And then Autumn would have
Yeah.
seen inside,
Yeah.
and she would probably know now that like, oh, this is way older. Okay, yeah, all right. I'll kind of like close Johnny up and then kind of help him sit up or like offer a hand to kind of like help him get up. And probably say, well, that's pretty much all I can do for now, Johnny. But there's quite a lot of I think that maybe if we go somewhere where there's components and things available, there's definitely some things that we could pick up that might make things a bit easier for you, might aid with motor functions, aid with memory, things like that if you wanted to. It's been a while.
So-
It's been a bit more than a couple of years.
In the
since you
middle
last had
of
them repaired.
this sentence or somewhere like you get interrupted.
Yeah.
There is a metallic like tapping on the door. This kind of like clicking sound that sort of sounds like someone knocking, but it's like higher pitched and like, yeah, you just hear like a sound on the door.
Hello?
Oh
Who's
There's
there?
no response. You just heard the tapping like once and then
I'll check it. Y'all can.
Hey, I'll go with you.
Okay. Are you okay? You feel
Are you
good?
feeling okay?
Yeah. Feeling good.
All right.
Awesome.
Johnny,
Go to the. Oh,
I-
sorry.
I
Yeah,
was just checking.
four wounds back.
Recover.
yeah, 4 wounds
You
back.
got
Yeah.
4 wounds back.
Cool.
And I'm
Cool,
gonna
cool.
spend my XP.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Johnny goes with Haley to check the door just to see.
Okay. All right. Christine stands behind you, nervous about whatever it is. And Haley, yeah, when you walk over to the door opens and you don't see anyone there, right? You look and we get the kind of the pan down as there's no one there, and you look down and on the floor, there is some kind of like mechanical like object, like a valve or a pump or something. It's got a little circuit board on it and it's got like 2 ends you can see, and it's just sitting on the floor in front of the room.
She'll
Small,
peek
it's like
down the
fist
hall.
sized.
She'll like peek down the hallway or whatever is on the other side of the door.
Okay.
See if she sees anyone.
Up near the ceiling for just a second, you see a hemispherical metal and glass like object with like it's like a compound lens, and you see that big thing that was like hanging out before, and you see it, and it's just looking around the corner, and when you look at it, it just dips back and like
I love
vanishes.
him so much.
I love it.
yeah. So it just vanishes, like it was watching to see if you came out, and then disappears.
That's so heckin' cute.
Oh, I think it's our big friend from when we got here. He left this for us? I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, so if you wanna take a look at it, Haley, you're the only one with like any training, so I think you recognize it. It is like a hydraulic like pump, and it looks like it's either like scrap or it's been removed from another system. But at a glance, it's both compatible with and an upgrade for a part of Johnny. You could easily swap out one of Johnny's old like hydraulic pumps for this new, like slightly newer piece.
Oh shit!
What would that do for Johnny?
Just like better circulation, less chance that the pump will fail because it's 200 fucking years old.
Who the fuck knows at this point?
Yeah, less likely to fail. It's just like a slightly newer like version of the same. Yeah.
I just imagine that going along with this car metaphor, if we add newer hydraulics to Johnny, then Johnny will be like a lowrider. Like walking around the ship like this.
You can mod Johnny like straight up.
Yeah,
that's
get
the
some
plan.
paint some flame decals.
Arm cannon.
I'm gonna put a juicer in your butt.
Haley goes, like, Vana goes, flame decals and a juicer, and I went, arm cannon.
Arm cannon. Listen, you already had your arm
Obviously, you
cannon.
haven't watched enough Pimp My Ride. Is the problem here, Mark? That is a you
Very true.
problem.
I am not
Now
familiar
I'm just
with
thinking
the
about
X
Haley
to the
putting
Z.
carrots in Johnny's butt and carrot juice coming out of his mouth.
Yo, we put a
That'd be
juicer in
so
your butt.
fun. We heard you like juice, so we put some juice in your juice butt.
I mean, this is the thing, and that's like that kind of outlandish thinking is totally normal. Like there are definitely like what is the most ludicrous thing you can do to a Johnny model to make it like, you know, there's like
Trillion
robot.
did
I
it.
mean, obviously like robot fight arenas and stuff, but like other things where it's like you're just an object and people can change you however they want.
Yeah, the Trillion, love that.
But there's just this little like pump upgrade just sitting on the floor in front of you.
Well, it
Big
seems like
robot, leave
somebody's
that?
been eavesdropping on us. Yeah, I think he maybe heard pieces of our conversation and thought he would drop off an upgrade. What a sweetheart.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's real nice.
Yeah, what do you think,
mean,
Johnny?
Well, I mean, you know,
Looks pretty easy.
I'm not, you know, I'm not sure. Well, what do you think?
I mean,
I'll look
think
at Haley.
if it's gonna help you be with us longer, then it's a good idea.
It certainly
No?
means that it just might make things a bit easier, more comfortable for you. But I mean, also if there's a less of a chance of any failures, that's helpful for us because we want you around. So yeah, I think it's a good idea.
And I
Okay.
think it'll help with that constipation you've been having.
Yeah.
Orm is like,
Yeah.
yeah,
John's back to, like diagnostics mode and just planks out.
Yeah, you slide back down like do it.
Falls back.
Okay.
we can
Yeah, and you
install
can see now, like now that you're trying to draw the analogy, you can see that, and I think you missed it on the first pass because you were focused on the damaged bits. Yeah, like this part, Haley, the valve, like pretty good chance it was gonna fail. You can see like the rubber like rings, the sealant is all cracked and old, and like it wouldn't have killed Johnny or anything, but it wouldn't have been fun. And yeah, you totally didn't even notice it. But you're like, oh yeah, we can swap in this new part, and
Yeah, gotta do it.
yeah, okay, all right. So yeah, it doesn't take long, right? You just like turn off you're like, because basically the hydraulics fluid is what allows you to like move your arms and legs, right? Like it gives you motion. That pressure of the fluids is what allows you to like grip. And as you can imagine, because Johnny's quite strong, there's a fair bit of the system that goes towards pumping these hydraulics and allowing them to function properly. And so what replacing this pipe, what it does is it paralyzes you for a minute, right? It's because it's like we have to turn off the hydraulic system. All of this stuff flushes back into the reservoirs and you're laying there paralyzed. Like you can't move. You can still see and think, but you can't make any of your body work. And it's like that for just a second.
Okay.
What does that feel like for you, Johnny? Is it like, does it make you feel panicky? Does it make you like, or do you just you don't feel anything?
No, it's like how to put this? It's like when you space out, when you look at something and you just kind of stand there for a moment and you don't realize that you're not moving, you just think about something. You're just like that. It's
Mm.
not it's like
Mhm.
nothing even registers as being paralyzed or paralysis for him.
Right. Okay. But you're still like conscious. You're just kind of like not really.
Just like not really operating at that time, at that second. So
Mm.
yeah.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, it's a pretty easy, like you just swap the piece out. It runs some little like internal diagnostics, and then it just starts running the fluid back through the system. And there is pins and needles, like your whole body is asleep feeling, Johnny, that you feel for a second as you get access to your motor functions again. And it's not like a huge difference, right? It hasn't changed your capability at all, but everything feels like a little bit less heavy. It's like the tension of movement is gone. It's like getting a nice massage, except that the effects last forever, right? Because now you're just like a little bit more limber. Things don't feel quite as like you should have gotten this part replaced like 40 years ago, but you don't know that, right? You don't have access to your own diagnostics. And so now you feel like a little better, and it's less like, oh, that horrible feeling is gone, and more like, oh, I didn't realize I wasn't feeling well, and now I feel better. So yeah.
He immediately sits up, just like he closes everything, sits up, and he does this.
Everything okay?
He just does this. He does it like incredibly fucking fast. Like he does this like 50 fucking times. And he turns.
What's happening? Are you malfunctioning?
Are you
What's
all right?
going on?
Yeah, he turns to Autumn and he like just grips her like in a he's meaning it to be friendly, but just like grips her shoulders. And he just goes, I feel like $1,000,000.
Yeah, well, that's great. That's really good. And then I'll kind of like bring Haley. I'll kind of like be like, well, Haley helped too, and like kind of like motion to Haley, and then probably like just be like, I'm glad you're feeling better, and I'll just kind of give him like a very gentle, small hug, not like super affectionate, that kind of pat on the back and kind of just lean in and then back away kind of thing, of like a little sort of like, hey,
if you go in for a hug, he's going to like uncle hug that shit, like just bring it in.
Uncle hug.
Yeah.
Haley will just grab both your legs and hug them.
kind of like pat her as
Everybody's hugging.
Except Christine. No hug for Christine.
And Christine tried to get in on it, and Haley kicks her in the shin.
Oh my god, awkward. So there's like group hug, Autumn, Haley, and Johnny, and Christine's like, she comes over a little late to try to get in, and you just block her out. You're just like, no, not for you, Christine.
Just reach my hand up on her face.
Yeah, no, you're not invited to
Haley
the
just
hug.
points the gun at her. Haley's just pointing a gun.
I think she like tries to get in on this hug, and then you push her out, and she kind of like takes a step back, like, fine, whatever, and she just kind of stands at the back of the room.
Christine.
Yeah, she's just feeling very.
Also, you're always
here.
clinging on Johnny. Give other people a chance, okay?
I'll probably just say like, I'm glad you're feeling better. As your physician, if there's ever any problems, please come and let me know.
Thanks, Doc.
You're welcome.
No,
That's
Johnny
all I
feels
wanted. I wanted Johnny to call me Doc. That's what I want in life.
You're like, yes, I did it.
Yeah, got it. I got a Doc.
Validation.
We've got it. We have to get a what's up Doc at some point.
I'm sure that Haley will provide that.
Yep. Cool,
I really
okay,
think we have to thank our big friend too.
Yes,
I don't know their name
very much.
or what they are, but
Where'd they go? We gotta go find them.
I think they're a little shy. Which is why they dropped it off. And
The mechanic was pretty. The ship's mechanic was pretty mean to them when they were down in the hangar.
They're maybe not used to, kindness at all,
Yeah,
or
maybe.
recognition even.
Do you want to go and see if you can find them? There's not a lot of places on the ship, and it seemed like they were hiding in the cargo hold. They were like looking through the.
Is there something that we could give them in return? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it'd like.
What about this? And Johnny goes over to the washboard. He grabs it.
Not Adil's washboard.
I mean, I don't think Adil is using this at all.
I really genuinely think Adil hates that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
Not
can
your
give that.
fault.
Sure.
Yeah, let's try it. I mean, it's got long, spindly legs, perfect for strumming it up.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go find.
Johnny just goes towards the door with his prize in hand, hell yeah, we're gonna make friends.
So when you go back out into the hallway, you can hear a conversation. It's one-sided, but you can hear a conversation in progress. The door is still open to the cargo bay, and you can hear a woman's voice, and she's saying, "I'm sick of having to tell you this over and over. You need to leave them alone. The passengers are none of your business. You're here to fix the computer and make sure the computer stays working. And if the computer's broken, you can fuck with it all you want, but you need to stay away from the passengers. You understand me?" And so you can hear this dressing down coming from the other room.
Well, we don't like that.
I don't like that one bit.
I don't like that at all, Cletus. I'm gonna go break this up.
Makes me quite cross, to be honest.
I'm going to let Johnny and Haley take the lead, but I'm going to follow and just hold a bit of a trump card back if I need to pull the noble card.
Yeah.
But I'm going to just kind of quietly follow behind those guys.
Johnny wants to go investigate, for sure.
Okay.
And just kind of find out, what's going on.
Yeah, as you're getting closer, the conversation, so it goes she's like, "I don't even know why I try with you. You probably can't fucking understand me anyway. Ugh, just stay away from them, all right?" And you hear this kind of low, that same noise this thing was making before, and she's like, "I'm just gonna take that as a yes, and I'm gonna keep my eye on you. And if I see you interacting with them again, there's going to be problems. You get me, Bugs?" And then there's the sound of footsteps as she comes, because again, there's nowhere to go. She's coming back towards the if you guys, and I know it's I don't know, it's not that big a deal to figure this out, but I want to just kind of show you. So if you're walking this way down the hall, she's got to go that way to leave, so she'll see you. Unless you duck back into the thing. Do you want to confront her, or do you want to just let her go past?
I would just I think Johnny would let her go past.
Yeah.
And
I don't think we need to hide, really. But...
Yeah. I mean, I think if you just are standing in the hallway, she walks into that intersection, she turns and looks at you. You can see her try to decide whether she should apologize or whatever. And then she just walks towards the cockpit. She decides you know what? I don't need to say anything. I don't whatever. And she's clearly mad. And so she just leaves. She walks right past you.
Okay. Well, Johnny is very interested in who she was berating. So he is going to just stick by Haley and look around and see if we can find anyone.
Okay. So again, the ship's very small. So Yasna, if you want to have overheard this from wherever you are, that's definitely an option.
Yeah, I think maybe it was more than just the normal ship white noise. So yeah, I kind of out and investigate.
Okay.
I might peel off and start following her to the cockpit actually, and kind of leave Haley and Johnny to go and speak with Robot Friend. Because
all right.
I'm also kind of I'm also thinking that she might be able to answer some questions about who they're picking up in the planet, and also might have information on why.
Okay. Well, let's stick with Johnny and Haley. for now, and then we can have that conversation. I mean, probably looking at the time, probably we'll start next time with the arrival and picking up the new passenger. But yeah, Johnny and Haley, you go into the cargo hold. Yasna, you come out from the room like, hey, something's going on. So you come out with them. And yeah, the hold looks much like it usually does. Big walkway up onto the secondary area where you can look down into the cockpit or into the cargo hold. There's a bunch of cargo, the whole place. I think that kind of coffee smell has dispersed somewhat. So it just kind of smells like recycled air, right? Spaceship air. And yeah, in the back corner, like absently, like looking at a panel on the wall, maybe manipulating it with the big metal arms, you see this armature thing, this big, like vaguely insectoid centaur looking 12-foot tall, whatever the fuck this is. And it's kind of like got its back turned to you and is like messing around with something on the wall.
So I'm guessing we both see this. So Johnny looks
The
at
12
Haley.
foot, yeah.
Yeah, and we both just kind of like feel like we look at each other. And Johnny will say something. Hey.
Yeah, so when you make a sound, it turns, right? The whole, and it moves like a fucking BattleTech like mech, like the bottom and top spin independently. So the bottom doesn't move, but the whole torso turns around. And it kind of like looks down at you. And remember, it has like a vaguely human torso, but it has 4 arms instead of just the 2. And then it has a sort of insectoid head, and it's all metal and plastic. And it turns around and looks at you.
So Johnny doesn't display fear. He doesn't like this. There's no like, I'm afraid of this. It's very like, I'm going to be charming and try and be cool and try and like be this person's friend. So he says, well, we brought you this and we were wondering if maybe you would like it. It's a present. It's for you. And inside he's going, what the fuck? What the fuck? What is this? What the fuck is this thing? Oh my God. It's gonna step on us. Like he's legitimately terrified just at the largesse of this. And
Yeah,
you know, tech like this because he doesn't get out much. So this is definitely like a very new experience for him.
Yeah. Okay. So it takes a few steps backwards and then its torso kind of like reverts back around. It doesn't really have like a forward facing part for the bottom. So it moves again, like more like a vehicle. It backs up and then kind of comes around and then moves towards you and gets right up in front of you. And you're holding out this washboard. And it reaches out with a hand, and the hands are like grippers, basically. It's like three big sort of fingers, and it reaches out to take it from you. And like you hold it up, and it picks it up and like holds it in front of its face, like looks at it and like turns it around. But again, its wrist spins all the way around, so it does like a 360, like scans it, and then like looks at you kind of expectantly. Like there's a pause where it's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Like this.
Okay. So you're like mimicking what you're supposed to do with it. Okay. All right. So it holds it in one hand and the other hand comes up and the 3 like claws form into like a fist shape. And it reaches over to the thing and it like taps on it a couple of times, like dunk, dunk, dunk. And like looks at
Haley
you.
Haley will do like this.
Okay. So it turns its hand and then the hand snaps open and then it puts its fingers at the top of the washboard and then just like rips a big hole in it with the edge of the claw, right? 3 big like tears. And it looks at you like,
Okay.
did I do it?
Great job. Wow.
Yeah, so when you clap, it reaches back up and then just goes like really fast and just shreds the whole thing, and like little chunks of metal are just falling from its hands until there's nothing left. There's just pieces of wood and metal just like scattered all around its feet, and it like turns to you, and then both sets of arms go like it claps.
All right. That was great.
That was fun, right?
Wow.
We just wanted we just wanted to bring you something to thank you for bringing a new part for our friend Johnny here.
Yeah, I feel great.
Johnny, show him that
and
thing you can do.
so it leans. So it leans over, like, and it's huge, right? So it's menacing. It like leans down and reaches out with one of these claws that we just saw like shred through metal, right? Reaches out with a claw, and if you let it, like the claw gets closer and closer to your chest, Johnny. Do you like flinch or like back away or like reaching out to touch you?
He extends both of his hands and grabs the claw like a handshake and says, "Pour there, pal. Good job. Yeah, you did it. Congrats."
So when you touch it, it like pulls away and like backs up several feet, like surprised, and so it like scatters back a little.
Oh, I didn't mean anything by that. I
And you notice that when it does, the hand that you touched is like out, but the other three, the claws are like spinning slowly on the end of its wrists, like it's like threatened and it's like holding the claws up.
No, it's okay. See, look.
And then yeah.
And that's
So the two of you like shake hands, and it like looks at you, and I think let's get a charm roll from the two of you. We'll make this our last roll of the day. Let's get a charm roll to see if you can charm this thing.
What's the difficulty?
So it's going to be quite difficult because it's very hard to communicate your intent to this thing and to like get it to like you. So I'm going to say 3 red dice.
Oh my god.
Story points.
Yeah.
Spend those story points.
I'm gonna
Spend
use
them.
I'm gonna use my leftover advantage to add a blue die.
Okay. So you got a blue, you get an add a blue. So who has the highest? So charm is based on
I have
what?
3.
Presents.
Or
I got
2 rings.
one
Based on
yellow and
present.
2 greens in charm. I got pretty good.
I
good
have
stuff.
2 yellows and 1 green in charm.
Never mind.
You're both very charming. So in this
very
case,
different ways.
the person with the highest total pool, the most yellows and greens and stuff, you'll roll, and you'll add another blue from help, and then a second blue from Haley's advantage.
Okay. So
That makes sense. So
Wait,
give me your charm again, Haley. What's yours?
Mine's 2 yellow, 1 green.
2 yellow and a
And 2
green.
rings.
And Johnny, what's yours?
1 yellow, 2 green.
Okay, so it's going to be Haley, because technically your pool is better. You have the most strength. So Haley, you're going to roll. You're going to add 2 blue to your pool.
So 3
Right.
total with my advantage.
No, 2 total. I was counting that.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So your pool should be, what did I say? 3 red and 2 blue. Yeah, 3 red and 2 blue in your pool. And then if you want to spend a story point, throw an upgrade on your side.
Hell
Yeah, let's
yes.
do that.
Oh, yeah.
And since we're all throwing around story points, I'll do one too. Put an upgrade on the other side.
No!
It's funny that this is like the most complex roll we've rolled so far, and it's the stakes are so. I mean, I think the stakes are very.
They're really
And
high.
then the ship explodes.
Okay, so click somewhere, click outside, and let me look at the pool to make sure it's right. Okay, 2 blue,
Okay.
an upgrade on your side, upgrade on mine, 3 red. All right, go ahead and roll the most important charm roll in the history of the game.
Good shapes.
Good shapes here. Let's go.
Get a triumph.
Oh, what? What?
That is
What
a triumph.
There it
That is a
is.
triumph, though.
The
So
best
it's a
shape
fail,
there
but-
is. So it's yeah, you don't. Here's
is
the thing.
interesting.
You don't succeed now, right? So you do get a triumph, which is still there, but without any successes. This is a very complex roll. So without any successes, you don't get the thing you want. You do not like befriend this thing now. But something about the way that it sees, I'm not gonna say like humans in general or anything, but it looks at you, and I think that we see
The two of them.
we see Haley through its eyes, which is like confusing for us because there's all of these like matrixy looking like data streams on either side of the view, and you're all like distorted, and we're seeing 2 of you, and there are 2 like distinct sounds. One kind of low sound and one like higher, more like melodic sound. And for a moment, Haley and Johnny and Yasna, it's almost as if the thing is talking to itself. Like it's trying to have a conversation about whether or not to like trust you. And so it has this brief conversation, and I think it stands up, and instead of like shaking your hand or doing anything, I think it leaves. I think it just like walks off. Like it's come to some kind of conclusion, and it like steps over you and like goes to like pick up a box and like do something different, like completely at random, it seems. And I think, that moment where it's just kind of like makes this decision and then turns away from you and walks off, and that confused look of like the three of you, like, what just happened? I think that's the last shot, is the like, what is going on as we like fade out on that scene.
Okay,
Cool.
bye.
I love
And it's we'll talk a little bit.
Send
I'm
our
sure 'cause
spider.
I saw Mark. I saw you talking about this in chat. We should talk about in the post show, like, these kinds of results and how this system does things like that to you sometimes. It's very, very interesting, and I always find it really challenging. So yeah, cool. So we'll do that. But before we do, let's do some shout outs and then check on XP, and then we'll go do the post show. So let's start with Dr. Mark over here. Do your shout outs.
Dr. Humes is here. There we go. Hello. Thanks for watching, everybody. I love this show so much, and doing these RP, I'm so glad that we got to have a proper sit down role-playing session where we could just have cool conversations. My favorite thing. Thank you to the rest of the cast. You can catch me on my show High Rollers D&D. It's every Sunday at 5 o'clock over on twitch.tv/High Rollers DND. I'm the GM. It's really fun. It's a bunch of British people playing Dungeons and Dragons. But I also start doing my own streams on Sherlock_Humes as well, where I'm doing a lot more of my own personal streaming as well. Come and check that out. And thanks very much to everyone and Adam.
Excellent. Thanks, dude. Down below, it's djWheat. Do the thing.
Hi. Thanks so much. I have to echo what Mark said. This show's a lot of fun. Even the chat, you were great today as well. Thank you for all the laughs. You know where to find me /djWheat wherever. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Fridays from 8 until 11. That's Central Time, but no one knows that. So that's 9 to 12 a.m. EST. Playing Deliver Us the Moon. If you like space, check that one out. It's a lot of fun. But thank you to Adam, and thank you to the Far Verona crew. It's been a blast.
Excellent. Thanks, dude. We'll continue around the horn. Elspeth, do the thing.
What's up? What's up, everybody? I'm Elspeth. It's good to see you all here. Thank you so much for tuning in. We did, I can't believe it, 2 episodes in a row, 2 weeks in a row. Far Verona. It's amazing.
We did it.
We did it. Yeah. You can find me at twitch.tv/Elspeth. I also played a little bit of Deliver Us the Moon. And then I started playing Lost in Vivo, which I got a lot of people telling me you should check this game out. It's terrifying, and I recommend it if you're looking for a spooky game, because it's
What is it called?
Lost in Vivo, VIVO.
Right.
I can't really explain it. You lose your corgi down the sewer. That's the premise.
No.
And it's freaky. It's freaky. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm probably going to be playing later tonight. But again, I wanted to thank everyone for watching on all channels, and thanks JP, thanks Adam, thanks everyone who was a part of this production. It's wonderful. This was one of my favorite episodes yet. I say that almost like for every episode that we have. This one I loved. It's great.
Excellent. Yeah, these ones are always kind of a gamble, because you never know. It might just be like, I don't know, we don't know what to do. We'll talk more about it in the post show. Last but not least, Vana, who was like chat superstar today. It was really funny. There were a number of times that I saw you say something in chat and I had to like poker face, and then I watched someone else in the cast see it and break. It was great. It was very good. Thank you for that.
I'm sorry I'm like this. I just want a Harlequin synth romance in space. Okay, I have my needs. It's cuffing season. Okay, this is not my fault. I'm sure Mercury's up to something. not me. But yes, I am Vanna. You can find me streaming 5 days a week at twitch.tv/Vanna. Currently playing through, finishing up Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, and I need to I need to finish Serial Cleaner 2, which is I feel like it's years old, but it's a pretty frustrating indie that I'm obsessed with. And yeah, I just started recently paying more attention to YouTube for some reason. I waited till it got bad to get into it. But but you can check me out as I do with most things, honestly. You can check me out there, Vanarama Games. I just posted a new video today that is a little fun montage recap of the TwitchCon weekend, plus a little Disney trip I did with some streamer lady friends, and it's really cute and fun. So yeah, Vanarama Games on there, and you can just follow me in general on Twitter at Vanarama to keep up to date on all the places and things that I will be. Oh, and of course, Pirates of Salt Bay on Saving Throw Show. Represent. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m. PST, we're playing 5th edition Ghosts of Saltmarsh pirate content. And my character is pregnant, so that's fun. And yeah,
Cool.
I had a really great time today. I think like solid full RP days are one of the best days to just really connect as like a cast. And we can talk about this in the post show, but just really grateful anytime I get to play with this cast and yeah, today was particularly special.
I think if I'm not mistaken, Lauren, who is a player of mine from another game, was in an episode of playing a character. We had some weird crossover because Lauren was playing the character from Mad Mage in your game. And Saltmarsh was not kind to her the first time. Yeah, so that's super fun. I love when that stuff happens. Weird universe crossover stuff.
Yeah, she was a great guest. It was really, really a lot of fun. So definitely check out the VODs on the Saving Throw Show YouTube if you want to see Lauren in our Salt Bay show as well.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. I have been your Space Master. My name's Adam Coble. That's what it says on the overlay. You can find me on Twitter at skinnyghost or on Twitch, twitch.tv/Adam Coble. I did a bunch of prep for this episode and for the next episode of Court of Swords yesterday. Those are in my VODs if you want some secret dramatic irony about what's going to happen in the future of either Far Verona or Court of Swords, which of course you're already watching because you have good tastes and you like it. But just in case you're not, I won't call you out. It's the D&D show that we do here on Rollplay. We've been doing 125 episodes. It's fucking awesome. We have a special episode of that tomorrow. So if you're a regular watcher, don't miss it. It's tomorrow at the usual time, different day. We'll be tweeting about it just to remind you. So come and check that out. I put up a Q&A for this episode over at community.itmejp.com, which I always do. I'll spam that in chat one more time. Let's give out some experience points, and then we're going to go and record our Patreon post show. So everybody gets the default, like you just grow by existing, the 10 as a flat baseline. Let's see. Autumn, did any of your motivations come into play in an interesting way today?
Maybe her desire for safety by having that conversation with Yasna, and then also kind of helping repair Johnny, who, obviously in turn is going to help them, but like that kind of commitment to, Yasna offering to help find the sister, and then kind of making that bond in a sense of, making that. Other than that, I don't necessarily think so. I mean, fear, isolation, strength, idealistic.
I think
law, reckless.
I think we saw little bits and pieces of all of them, but I don't think any of them,
but nothing
like the safety one, like there was nothing at risk there. Which doesn't mean that it wasn't cool to see, but yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at. Okay.
Yeah. I vibe that.
Let's see. Yasna, how about you?
Well, damn, I was gonna maybe try to argue something, but after you shot Mark down like that,
my job is not to gatekeep XP. My job is just to like check in and make sure we don't advance too quickly or too slowly. So I'm just making sure you earn the points you get.
Totally. All right. I mean, like my spin was going to be, I thought there was a mixture, kind of in sort of my desire, which is justice, and my fear, which is failure. Obviously justice in terms of like, we're going to take care of your sister, like that means something to me as it relates to the backstory, and fear just in sort of like the conversation and even revealing that information. But you make the call. Like
Yeah,
Adam.
and again, I think these episodes are interesting because we learn about the characters, but there's not a lot of like risk or like for me the thing that indicates whether or not it's worth the experience is it needs to be significant and it has to like complicate things. So either like it's you made a choice that wasn't the smart choice because of one of your motivations, or you put yourself in a situation of risk. I think we're building up to that, but I don't know that there was anything like strong enough at stake to kind of trigger that stuff.
Vulnerability can be really hard, Adam.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Like
Damn.
Vulnerability is difficult and should be rewarded.
Right, but Yasna doesn't have a fear of
Haven't you-
vulnerability. Yasna
haven't
has
you
a
read
fear of
any
failure.
Brene
They're
Brown,
different.
Adam? Weren't you reading Brene Brown? Then you know.
I'm good with it.
I
I'm good with my
understand, and I
10x.
value vulnerability. It's very important to me, but the fear is of failure, not of vulnerability. And there was no like putting yourself out there to a point where you could fail in a like a deeply meaningful way. I think it was setting the stakes for some stuff, but I didn't see that. I didn't see that come up in a way that I thought like really like risked anything for Yasna.
Yeah, except that I had my gun cocked and ready to just fire. Like,
be my friend,
human
or
scum.
I'll kill you. Right. Well, now I'm scared to ask Vana. Vana, did any of your motivations come up in this session today?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it was just Haley existing in her own and not necessarily challenging herself in any new and interesting ways.
Yeah,
Just
and
connection.
so we'll round off with Johnny, but I'll talk a little bit more about this because I've been thinking about like motivation and stuff, and we can kind of talk about like this conversation in the post show because I think it's interesting and worth having. So, Johnny, any of your motivations cause you risk or complication today?
I would say so, actually. His desire to be understood or known differently. That conversation with Hadil,
Yes,
made him feel incredibly uncomfortable, and he wasn't sure how that was going to turn out. But he was really making a genuine effort to understand her.
Yes, and I think that need to be understood. There was a risk, there was a complication there. The fact, like, it showed how different you are, and it didn't really go the way that Johnny maybe had hoped. It wasn't like, look at me, I'm opening up to everybody. It's like, look at me, I'm a weird machine you don't understand.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's worth the 5 for Johnny for sure. Cool. All right. Well, that's it. That's experience. So we've been talking about the post show a bunch. If you don't know what that is, after every episode of every show we do, we record a little half an hour conversation about the game and the episode and how it went, and we put that up for patrons of our Patreon. You can check that out at patreon.com/rollplay. So we're gonna go do that. Thanks for coming and watching, everybody. We appreciate you being here to see it live and participate in all of the chat shipping. I see you. I'm watching you. We will be back next time with more Far Verona. Thanks for coming, everybody. That's it.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, nerds.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.